you're like, oh my god, things that never happen because they're too busy writing emails to, I don't know, with the demand that this indigenous tribe is somewhere in the Pacific Islands. Probably that tribe should be treated differently, certainly. I'm not sure that's the job of the moment it's going to get. So I think
You're a private dick with a big private dick.
Hello, welcome to Stand Up Second Sunday. So many sus. Welcome to Comedy Sports, presenting Stand Up Second Sunday. Thanks for being here. You paid a bunch to get in, so I've tightened up my introduction bits. Concessions. Recycling. Restroom. Carl.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
I'm usually introduced as concessions, so I was on my way up anyway. How are you tonight? Thanks for coming out. Yeah, I really appreciate it. We got a wonderful show for you tonight, all LGBTQ. All the letters we could squeeze in tonight. And I know a number of my students and friends are here who have heard all my material, so I'm not going to do a lot tonight. So we're going to hear from our, oh, hey, Casey, is that a button you have?
It is a button I have.
Oh, I collect buttons, you know.
I have heard that.
Yeah, that's going to come off you and into my pocket tonight. Casey Hansen.
That kind of show, Carl.
I know. It's never too late to turn over a new leaf. I could grab for a woman's tits before the night's over. It could actually happen. Just to get a button, that's what I tell the judge. Only for the button. Kate's, yeah, that would be really something. My dead mother would love to see it. Finally!
And then she'd look at me and go, oh, never mind.
Casey Hansen, former chair of the Democratic Party of Oregon, ladies and gentlemen. That's all right. My friend Paul Block is here, who was, many of you know Paul. He was, as well as being my good friend, he and his wife Sheila, good friends, and a very prolific Hollywood producer. He was also the talent coordinator for The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson in the Glory Days. Paul Block here tonight. And, I'm sure when you grabbed for a woman's tits, you meant it. There was no need for a button.
And no matter what I do ever for the rest of my life, it's always going to be the Tonight Show.
Yes. People, it's Tonight Show, Tonight Show, Tonight Show. And Paul's a great person to have coffee with because he tells the inside stories that you don't even hear these stories on the specials they do. In fact, you were on a special, was it a PBS special?
Yes.
Or on, about
Masters of America.
Masters of America. Yeah, they had that in Germany, and Hitler got on, and you know the rest. What's that?
American Masters.
American Masters. Okay, but you didn't tell the real stuff when you were interviewed on there because you
I don't
know.
want to take up your time, but there was the guy who did the interview.
Oh please, we can put a straight person on tonight, right? Put an S in the stuff. And
The guy kept saying, yeah, but let's talk about sex. Let's talk about drugs. Let's talk about drugs. Like, when he did this, was he coke? And
you're talking about Johnny.
yeah. And at one point, I said to the guy, there's only two people in America, Johnny Carson and Walter Cronkite, that people still believe and trust.
Right.
And you don't expect that I'm gonna
No.
blow off one of them right here.
Absolutely not.
I
You know,
wouldn't do it.
Walter Cronkite, Johnny Carson,
Although I
J.D. Vance. I think that's.
No, I couldn't.
See, this is comedy. We almost had Robert F. Kennedy Jr. On the show tonight, but a squirrel got hit and he's eating it. You'll notice the one person not laughing at my jokes is my husband, Gary, who's here tonight, because he's heard all of them. Although that was new, I improv that. I had never done that joke before. But, you know, I did see a dead squirrel. Many of you know that Gary and I will celebrate our 27th anniversary in December. That's Gary's younger. He is 16 years younger. I think I've never admitted that publicly, but he is 16 years younger. And he's more athletic, as you know. He climbed Mount Tabor, and I made it halfway up Mount Tabor. I totally fucked that joke.
It still works. It still works.
Keep on going. Keep going.
Keep going. These are my students, by the way. They just enjoy when their teacher fucks up a joke.
I just said to Gary, was that a joke?
No. No. He climbed Mount St. Helens, and I made it halfway up Mount Tabor. Yeah. My Sherpa quit. It wasn't my fault. He is athletic, but there's always a price. I'm not athletic, as you can tell. But he went out for softball league. First game, 2008, diving for a ball in the outfield, broke his knuckle in 4 places. Oh. Yeah. Have fun, last thing I said before I got a call from the emergency room. But has anyone broken, he had like a spring, you know, they had to put a pin in the finger and a spring, a big spring in this big contraption. I hate to bring it back for you, but, and it was like, how long did you wear that thing? It was like a month or so. He would walk down the street and he goes, how's my hair? I said, no one's looking at your hair. Nobody. I wake up in the middle of the night, this thing is pointing at me. We went to my nephew's funeral in Chicago. They decided to do the Egyptian for Gary, the whole thing. And unfortunately, about 3.5 years ago, he had a terrible bicycle accident. I hate that, you know, but at least you're athletic, you know? And his bike slipped on the max tracks in the rain, and he had tibial plateau fracture, 4 months with a yeah, it was sad. This is for not laughing at my jokes, by the way. He had a hospital bed for 4 months in the living room, and, you know, and I got some material out of it, worked, you know. He's sitting out on the front porch with a walker, and other people across the street are going, that's the young one, I thought it was the old fuck. All right, such a small crowd, we're going to do material on everyone. Paul? Casey? Sarah, you're next. All right.
He's a friend of mine.
Okay. Well, we got a really fun show. Molly McNabb, very funny. I've seen Molly many times. Well, not many times. I've seen you a number of times in Portland, some years ago as well. You've been doing it for a while. And she is a childless cat lady. She let me know. In fact, the election may come down to her. That's how close it is. One of my very best friends is a comic, Martha Jane, in Los Angeles, was a childless cat lady. And she was sitting in her back of her Hollywood home, and she had a wonderful big cat named Chairman Meow. And it was Chairman Meow. And she had the Chairman Meow out with her toys in the backyard. She hears a little noise at the side of the house, and she said, is Mommy playing with his balls? And she hears a voice, no ma'am, I'm just here to read the meter. Speaking of balls, Nick Alderson will be our headliner tonight. You're in for a treat with Nick. Last night he was at, don't tell, you just told me he was at Eagle. They had a gay rugby party, right? They have a gay rugby team at Eagle?
They do.
Yeah. And he said they never play rugby or anything. They just go there for the scrum. And it's just... Now you told me backstage that next Monday, Eagle is having a comedy night, clothing optional for the comics, right?
No, laugh your clothes off.
Jesus.
Can you imagine that? Are you doing it?
Oh,
Are you doing it? So next Monday...
He's not the old one, okay?
Yeah.
While I still look like this, I definitely do.
Wow, clothing optional. I think they should do the debate like that on Tuesday. I mean, that would finish Trump off, wouldn't it? If I saw him naked, even Idaho would go blue after that, I think. All right, so, and Michael, give Michael Shriver a round of applause too. Michael's on the show, very funny guy. You right, Gary? My husband, he goes, get off the stage. I want to see the other people. Please, get off the stage. Gary's from South Dakota. He's never seen this many people in a room before, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome a very funny lady. She's getting the show off to a great start. Molly McNabb, ladies and gentlemen. Molly!
Hello. There we go. Let's try it again. Hello. Hey guys, I had a really bad day today. I found a gray chin hair. I got called ma'am twice. And yet another person told me I look like Sadness from Inside Out. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So I turned 42 not long ago. Yeah, I know, I don't look it. You know, one day you're young and wild and free. The next you're writing a strongly worded letter to a dish soap company. You know, one day you're young and wild and free. And the next you're joining a Facebook group for soup lovers. You know, one day you're young and wild and free, and the next your favorite candy is dark chocolate coated raisins. So guys, I don't work, I'm disabled, and that gives me a lot of time to ponder life's little questions, like, do hipsters also call secondhand clothes rescues? Like, oh my God, I love your sweater. Yeah, it's a rescue from Goodwill. Do colorblind people see red flags? I mean, I see them, but I go right towards them like the circus is in town. Does my third grade teacher also lie awake at night thinking of the subpar job I did on my James and the Giant Peach diorama? I sure do. So, like, since I'm unemployed, I have a lot of time to watch daytime television. I was watching The Price is Right the other day, and someone won a 5-day, all expenses paid trip to Medford, Oregon. That is 4.5 days too long in Medford, Oregon. What are they going to win? Like dinner for two at the Denny's off exit 30. A rental car to get the hell out of Medford, Oregon. I feel like Price is Right. Maybe we should call it Price is Wrong. They're hurting. Like, the actual retail price really is $1 now. And you want a car. It's an '89 Honda Civic. It's got low-ish miles and a clean title. Like, they don't care about the pet population anymore, guys. Whatever. Spay, neuter, whatever. So, guys, we've established I'm 42, unemployed, mentally unstable, which makes me the best babysitter ever. Babysitting my little niece the other day. She's 7. She was drawing a picture of a snowman. So, of course, it was a hot day. I'd ask her about it. I'm like, honey, that's a great snowman. Tell me about it. And, Mom, that's not a snowman. That's you. obviously I have something to work on in this area, and arts and crafts time was officially over. So I did what all good babysitters do. I popped in a movie. So we finally get all comfy cozy watching our movie, and she pops up and goes, "I finally know who you look like. Kung Fu Panda."
Oh.
I kung fu that little shit right into her mac and cheese. So, I mean, I do love kids, and I always wanted one, but it didn't work out. But I do have a 19-year-old roommate. That's kind of like a kid. When she moved in, she was so excited because I was born in the 1980s, and the 80s was her favorite historical period. That one hurt. So, like, you know, I missed the boat on being a mom, but I decided, like, maybe I could be a good stepmom. But, like, step one to being a mom is you gotta date. That's an uphill battle, guys. So, like, I haven't even ever really been in love. Well, there was that one time, like, but I think that was just a second date and really good Prozac. So if you can't tell from my jumpsuit and dress Crocs, I'm a lesbian. I'm a lesbian with an IUD, just in case. Just in case. But like, I don't look great on paper, and I really want to put myself out there on the dating apps, but like, I'm kind of boring. So I need to make my usual stuff sound more interesting. So like, now instead of movies, I'm gonna watch films. That's the same old Zoolander I've been watching since college, but I'm just gonna put the subtitles on. So guys, I love to bake, but that's just Papa Murphy's pizza. 12 to 18 minutes at 425, you got yourself a good pizza. And guys, you wouldn't guess it, but I sure love hiking. That's just parking at the end of the Winco parking lot. You can upgrade to backpacking if you carry your own groceries. So I might not be a catch, but I'm easy to catch. So I picked up this walking thing, balancing, a couple years ago, which has sucked. But what also sucked is that I lost my mom around that same time. The only thing that got better after losing my mom was the walking thing, because I no longer have to worry about stepping on cracks. Step on a crack, get your mother's. So you may not guess it, but I was quite the athlete as a child. Like, I broke a lot of records. Like, when I was on the Little League softball team, I was the only one to pitch a no-hitter. Yeah, I walked everyone. Thank God for that mercy rule, or we might still be there 30 years later. Also, around that time, I was pretty young, I won a foul shot contest, the hoop shoot. I made 0 shots. I was the only one to show up. Got this giant trophy, and my parents begged me not to go to the regional championship 2 hours away from home. But I was like, I won fair and square. People showed up to the regional championship. I made 2 shots, clearly didn't win, but I think I didn't really learn from that. My parents were ready with the lesson. Anyway, so this is kind of embarrassing because it happened in my mid-20s, but I won a jar of pickled pig's feet for my low score at a charity bowling tournament. I got 14. Oh. And I was trying. So in all of this, my dad, he never gave up on me. He was so proud of me in all my sporting endeavors. I think he was glad I had brains. But So what do I do to the poor guy? I accidentally turned him into a basic white woman for all of eternity. So like, he died in 2010, and what do I do to sum up his life best on his headstone? I put live, love, laugh. How was I supposed to know within like 6 months that would be on every candle and picture frame and white woman's wall? So now the poor guy, he's up in heaven drinking his pumpkin spice latte out of a Stanley cup. He's day drinking rosé with the others from the book club. My mom, when she got up to heaven, she was super excited to see him, but there was a sale on wooden signs at the Hobby Lobby. She had to wait. Thanks, guys. It's been fun.
Molly McNabb, ladies and gentlemen, Molly McNabb. Keep it going for Molly McNabb, ladies and gentlemen. You know, 2 people called me ma'am today. What a shitty day. Oh, Molly, yeah. Moms are, we miss our moms, but I'll tell you, they're great for comedy material, aren't they? I think most of my students have like family stories, dysfunction. My mother, Gary met my mother. My mother, who famously said when I told her I was gay, well, at least you're no Ted Bundy. Thanks for clearing that up. Mass murder, homosexual son, you know. I think most parents know their kids are gay, right?
Yes.
No, you're saying no? Is this a coming out story? Because I don't know.
I thought my oldest son was gay. I was wrong. My youngest son and my daughter were gay.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit. Here's the deal. If you say clang, 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 and they go, goes the trolley, they're gay. That's a reference to the Meet Me in St. Louis movie. Nobody knows it. Okay. Thank you. With Judy Garland, right? Clang, 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 goes the trolley. Right?
I do it every day. My dog.
Ding, ding, ding goes the bell.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay, people are coming out like popcorn. I set a litmus test, and now the whole audience is singing Judy Garland. Was that you, Mark? No. Oh, that was you, Grace?
That was my husband.
Yeah, Grace. Grace is one of my fine students who does a lot of her material based on the fact that her first husband was gay. Her only husband was gay.
Last husband.
Right. First, last, and only husband was gay. You should have done the trolley song. That's what I'm saying. Or you should have visited this guy's house. You know, if she found interest in your son, you would know. Yeah, and so Paul, what were you saying now?
I was every day. My dog has a little metal dog food bowl.
Yes.
And when I want to get the spoon, get it clear, I hit it on the bowl. Bang, bang, bang. And every time I do that, I say, goes the trolley.
Right. And you're straight, which fucks my theory.
It's showbiz. It's
Oh.
But I'm old. It makes up for that.
Yeah. I think my mom knew that I was gay when I was like in junior high, and she was just like, the fear was palpable. She sat me down on the steps and she said, this is true, she says to me, well, I just read a story where this man and a woman, a handsome man and a beautiful woman got married, and they went on their honeymoon, and he didn't touch her the whole honeymoon. And turned out he was a homosexual. Looking for my reaction, which was, do you have his number? So she could have figured it out. I don't know. My grandmother was another piece of work, but this is the 50s. She was of the time talk smack about blacks, Jews, Catholics, whom she hated, and homosexuals. Turns out you produce what you fear. My oldest sister married a Jewish man. Next oldest sister married a Catholic. I'm gay. My youngest sister married a black man. There you go. My grandmother has rolled over to Gravestone Island. She's rotated away to China, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't care for Asians either. It's a good place for her. All right. One more time for Molly McNabb, and great job, Molly. Our next performer, I believe Michael had taken 3 classes with me.
Yeah.
3! And he was so funny at the beginning, and now, just, I can't get a joke out of it. I don't know what happened. No, he's extremely funny, and just so bright, and by the way, if you sign up for the class, it's a great experience. We have 2 slots left for fall quarter, which starts on the 16th, portlandcomedy.com. It's a great experience. Part of the experience is workshopping, helping the other students to become funny with input. And Michael's great with input. He's great himself. Please welcome Mike Shriver, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Shriver. Clang, clang, clang.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike. I have 3 classes with Carl. He has now wrung all the comedy out of me. So we'll see what we have left. You'll find out. I was deciding what to wear tonight for the show, and I was going through my closet, which is over here, and I'm looking through the things, and I found this pair of pants, and it's very important to me. You can tell, what a fashion plate I am. And I found this pair of pants, and the thing was, I hadn't worn them in a really long time, and I couldn't remember why I stopped wearing them. Now, I don't know if this happened to anybody else. I wasn't sure what was wrong with them. Do they just fall down? Do they have a tear or rip I don't know about? But I took a chance and I wore them anyway. So now this will now become the suspense part of the show as we wait to find out what is wrong with the pants. Somebody told me, one of the last times I was here, somebody told me that I was a laugh a minute. And I felt really, good about that, and that it was a nice compliment. And then I thought about how long a minute is. 6, 7, 8, 9, I don't know, maybe, we'll see if it's a compliment or not. Nobody ever guesses that I'm gay. Even though I'm a single guy living in Portland, you do the math, nobody guesses it. So I have to wear, like rainbow pins and hats and things. Still nobody guesses it. And there's so many of the pins and everything, I never know which one to wear. So eventually I decided to make my own flag, which has 4 different colored stripes and a bird and a star, a yellow star, and I figured that would cover everybody's sexuality along with some canaries. But a lot of it is that I really don't have anything on the gay punch card. The punch card, it has all the things on it. It has, makeovers and gaydar, and it has the royal family, and it has Grindr. Somebody told me about Grindr, and I didn't understand what they were talking about. And now for 3 weeks I've been dating an espresso machine. I'm not sure it's going anywhere, but at least it's really hot. So I say I don't have anything on the punch card, but I did forget one thing. I love Broadway shows. Meet Me in St. Louis isn't a Broadway show, but I still love it. Any big production, costumes, anybody putting on a big show, and it probably has to do with having been brought up Catholic. When I was real little, the masses were all in Latin, and it was a big production with the robes and the hats and the music and everything. And a few years after that, they simplified the masses. and they took away everything. They took away the costumes, and they took away the glitter. They took away the chorus line. They took away the big 11 o'clock number. And I think that's probably when they lost me. There was one time when a lot of people guessed that I was gay. It was when I was living in Houston a long time ago, the early 80s. I had just come out, and I was at a party, a straight friends party. And I didn't really know anybody. So I'm going around, meeting people, and I go up to somebody, and I said hi, and they said, "Oh, you're Mike, aren't you? I heard you were gay." And, I said, yes, I'm gay. And I'd go around and meet somebody else, and, "Hi, I'm Mike." I said, "Oh, you're gay, aren't you?" And I realized that my friend was over in the other corner of the room. He was going, "That's my friend Mike over there. He's gay." And I realized that I was his gay trophy friend. And I looked around the room. I realized I wasn't the only trophy friend there, because there was one Native American, there was one black person, I was the one gay person. It looked like a Republican convention. So later on with that same friend, we took a driving trip up through the South, and we ended up in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, which I found to be the tackiest place on earth. There are some contenders, there's Niagara Falls, there's Las Vegas. This was the winner. Just a tacky little tourist town, and it might sound to you like I'm going to make fun of the South, and yes, I am. I have some standing to do that. I was born in Jacksonville, Florida. I did have the good sense to get out at 4 weeks old. But we were driving, my friend and I, through this town, and we found a diner that was sandwiched between two Elvis wax museums. I said it was tacky, yeah. And we went in, we wanted to order breakfast, and the waitress asked us what we want with our grits. And, we both said, we don't really need grits. I don't want grits. Please hold the grits. And the waitress said, "You don't want grits?" And every head in the place turned toward us. And there was this silence, and I'm pretty sure I heard a shotgun cock. And we thought about it again and, changed our mind. Said, "No, I'll have grits. Give me grits, please. I'll have extra grits, please." And that settled things down for a while until my friend asked for avocado with his. And then the shotguns came back out. We had to get out of there. That trip was a driving trip, but I like to ride the train. I take a lot of train trips. I don't own a car. I don't like to drive. And there was one long train trip I was on. There was nobody else in the car except one person that was way up in the front of the car. And he's on his phone. And he's going, "I'm on the train. It's so relaxing. I've never been so relaxed. Are you ready for me? I'm getting in Saturday." And I'm glad he was relaxed, because it was not doing much for me. And he just went on and on and on. And a half hour later, he's still going on. "I think I overpacked. You have enough room? How are the kids? How are they doing? Are they getting on your nerves? You should take a train trip. It's so relaxing." It was like being on the train with Gilbert Gottfried. A few months ago, I observed that I was the only guy in Portland that didn't have a beard. And I don't mind, I like to be different. But, I thought, I'll try it. Everybody else has one, I'll try it. And so I grew it in. It didn't really look good. It was kind of splotchy and patchy. And my friends were pretty nice about it. One of them gave the whole thing away when she asked, "Did you grow it on purpose?" So I shaved it off. I got rid of it. And it was really uncomfortable anyway. It was very uncomfortable. It was the most uncomfortable beard since Liza Minnelli. There was one other time that I had an uncomfortable beard. That was in college. And her name was Christy. We were the two unattached people in this big group of friends. And usually when there are two people unattached in a group like that, that's for a reason. But I was really young. I hadn't come out. I knew I was gay, but I was really young, and I didn't know enough to just say, no, we're not doing this. This is a bad idea. So we let everybody else sort of pressure us into sort of acting like a couple when we would all go out. And Christy didn't know any better either. She didn't know what was going on. So she was very frustrated. She was kind of expecting me, to be romantic. And I wanted to, sort of show her that I could be romantic. So as a math major, I drew a graph of our relationship. That didn't go over very well either. So I put an end to things, before I did any more damage. I turned 65 not too long ago, and I had my phone. I was looking at my phone, and I saw an ad for an app on my phone, and the ad was for solitaire for seniors. And I thought, they have these targeted ads, but this is going a little far. They know that I'm 65, and they know that I'm single. And I started to wonder what ads I will see next. After that one, I thought maybe, Minecraft for the mature, or Candy Crush for codgers, or Angry Birds yelling at clouds. And I notice also as I get older, you have to be careful asking an older person for directions. Because a lot of us will give you directions based on what used to be there. It'll be like, the person will be like, well, you go this way for a while, and then you turn right where that old school used to be. And then you keep going a while, then you turn left by the fire station that burned down. Okay. Get out your Google map, and when it asks when you want to arrive, tell it 1982. Now look for the school, turn right. And right after it happened that right after I turned 65, I had a doctor's appointment. And I was waiting for the doctor, and he comes in, and he's all happy, and he goes, "Welcome to 65." Like he's welcoming me to an exclusive club. He's undoing the velvet robe. He's, "Welcome to Club Senior, sir. Would you care for an Arnold Palmer and some Metamucil?" And then he said, "And the next time you come, we're going to do the Medicare exam." And I have no idea what this is. I don't know if I can study for it. I don't know what happens if I fail it. Do I have to repeat 64 again? Get held back by Medicare. The doctor he's used to seeing me. He sees me a lot because I get injured a lot. One thing I've learned over the years is not to run to try to catch the bus. I take the bus a lot, and one time, the worst time, I was walking down Burnside, and it was late at night, and dark, and I saw the bus coming. So I started to run to try to catch it, and I didn't realize I was at an intersection, and there was a curve there, and I just went flop right over into the street, and I landed on this arm. So I like this laying in the street, and I landed on this hand. And I looked at it, and it's all mangled like this, or even worse. And I I was laying there and looking at my hand, and I looked up at the bus, and it wasn't the bus I wanted. It was the wrong bus. So I was laying there, I just waved it by, you know. It's like, no, keep going. No, you're not the bus I want. So eventually the ambulance came, and they looked at my mangled hand. The EMT comes, and I thought he was going to tell me about my hand, but he just went, "Aren't you Mike? I heard you were gay." Thank you. Mike Schreiber, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Schreiber. Good job.
It was amazing. That's keep going for Mike. Really funny stuff. And, you know, before 3 classes, and before when he signed up for the first class, Mike didn't even speak English, which is unbelievable. And he was straight. So you two, clang, clang, clang. I can switch them just like that, ladies and gentlemen. PortlandComedy.com. Good job, Michael. It's really. What's great about Michael too is Mike just keeps writing material, which is really it's good to be prolific and you know, back in the day, Paul would have put you on the Tonight Show, right?
Absolutely.
You know, but that bus is also gone. That was a right bus back in 1982.
You can play for Johnny today.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready for Nick to join us now? Nick, I think, took 2 classes with me, and I always say Nick didn't need any classes from me. Nick is just naturally funny in his Nickness. Please welcome. And I asked him, is it Altishin? He goes, whatever, it's always different the way you pronounce it. Nick Altishin, he'll tell you what it's pronounced as. Nick, bring him up, ladies and gentlemen. Altishin, Nick!
You got it right for the first time ever.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Nick. I'm gay, and that's why this microphone feels kind of small. Just saying. You know, for an all-queer lineup, it is kind of odd for me going last, because my favorite thing about being gay is finishing first. That's pride to me. Just finishing first and then immediately losing interest. You know? No, I'm going to talk a lot about being gay because that's my personality. But things might be a little bit different than when Carl grew up gay versus me, because they invented electricity. And let me tell you, Carl, lights on is a game changer. You know, I'm not only gay, I'm also a faggot. I know that's a weird word. I know that there's like a lot of pain and trauma and suffering like associated with that word. I would also say that's literally the most accurate way to describe me. Just the most efficient, you know, like I'm so gay that I have the day Angela Lansbury died saved on my calendar so every year I can mourn and celebrate her. And I don't have a punchline because that's not a joke, I just do that. I'm so gay that Halloween is coming up soon. They call it Gay Christmas. And I'm supposed to wear a jockstrap and a harness and just pretend I'm dressed like a Power Ranger. Meanwhile, the guy I'm talking to at the party is also wearing a harness and a jockstrap, but he's Christine Baranski from The Gilded Age on HBO. Just like, what does it mean? I never learned Christine Baranski's name, but I do know what his dick feels like. You know, like, people ask me, they're like, why do you refer to yourself with the word faggot? And then it's like, well, at some point, once you have a comprehensive rankings of the best alphabets from Wicked, it just becomes required. You know, like, last weekend, I spent a weekend in LA at a gay kickball tournament. While I'm playing kickball at night, I'm getting railed by 3 guys at my hotel room, and I only ever learned 2 of their names. You just have to refer to yourself as a faggot, like, legally, you know? Once you start entering guys into context in your phone with guy who fingered me on the dance floor, October 22nd, ... Kyle, question mark. You have to like go to the DMV and update your driver's license. But you know, it is, reclaiming that word can be like very confusing. You know, like on one hand, it's like a joyous revolution, you're taking the power back. And on the other hand, nowadays when I'm confronted with actual hatred and homophobia, I just get kind of horny. Yeah, I was in the parking lot of a Safeway the other day, which is already a mistake. And a guy walked up to me, you know, camo shorts, gray tank top, we get who this is. And he was like, hey, you're a little faggot. And I was like, oh my god! Are we gonna fuck? Is her name Kyle? Love wins, y'all. Really does. I'm not just gonna talk about gay stuff. I know there's at least one. Are there any more straight people in the audience? Yeah, gross. No. I love straight people. I love straight men. They're so simple. And I love straight women because I also had English teachers in high school. I feel like I get it. No, my favorite thing about straight people is that they're always asking me why I'm single, but they mean it as a compliment. You know, they're always like, oh my god, you're so handsome. How are you single? And that's because, for the straight people in the audience, I don't know if you know this, but you've never seen an attractive person before. Yeah, you just don't know what they look like. I'm so sorry. Like, to give you some context, I'm hot to straight people, but I'm only funny to gay people. Yeah, like, straight girls are like, oh my god, I love your eyelashes and you have big arms. And gay guys are like, you're a hoot. And I'm like, I'm also naked, but thank you for the feedback. No, yeah, my parents are straight, so I had to, you know, talk to them, I guess. No, I love them. My parents are great. They come to a lot of my comedy shows, which is super uncomfortable. Once you start doing that faggot material in front of your mother, it's a game changer for your relationship. But, you know, they've always really supported my sexuality, but they didn't ever really understand it, you know? Like, they didn't get what they were dealing with. Like, they supported my sexuality the same way that you just automatically click that box liking the terms and services agreement without actually reading through what you're signing up for. You know, they're just like, okay, great, listen to Phantom of the Opera, Unconditional Love, that sounds fine. Little did they know they'd have to learn their son's favorite brand of poppers. Oh, so poppers are tiny bottles of VHS cleaner that when you huff it through your nose, gives you a head rush and then relaxes your asshole for sex. Yeah. See, it's educational. And my favorite brand is Double Scorpio Rose Gold. I'm so gay that my favorite brand of asshole sex relaxers is named after astrology and flavored rose gold. That's what we're dealing with here, okay? I'm so gay that when I came out, I was like, Mom, Dad, I'm gay. And they just looked at me and said, oh, honey, we know and we love you. And I said, oh my god, you're just like really stepping on my moment. Like, this is about me, not your unconditional love. It was fucked up. No, yeah. I know what you're wondering. How did they know? It was a real giveaway that they could always hear and see me. You know, like, they say the story goes that my dad coached my t-ball team when I was a kid, which, by the way, is a dumb sport. It requires no skill at all. The ball just sits on the thing, you swing at it, half the time you miss. It just is so dumb. I don't have a joke for this. I'm just ranting about how stupid that sport is. But you know, I was on first base. A kid went up to hit the ball, and he did because it's just there. And I went off running, and then someone in the outfield caught it, which is like, what? That's not supposed to happen. You're 9. You shouldn't know how to do that. And so none of the other kids knew what to do either. So it just got the other coach trying to scream at their players to throw the ball back to first. By the time my dad was trying to no, stop staring at the daisies. Let's go running back to first myself. So by the time the play was over, I didn't even know I was out. And my dad had to come get me off the field, and I just burst into tears because I was like so afraid that I disappointed him. And as the story goes, he just took me up into a big hug and thought to himself in that moment, you know what? Maybe not that kind of kid. Just so sweet. And then now, 25 years later, my mother messages me on Instagram weekly being like, dear God, just put on more clothes. I don't care what you say, that is not a Power Rangers costume. No, it was great. They ended up having one normal kid. They had my sister. Although for a while people did think she was a lesbian because they didn't understand feminism. She just liked her job, you know? But now she's married to a very nice man who can fix the car and likes to mow the grass, so there's just really no way of knowing for her. I told that joke at my speech at their wedding. Killed! No, and now they recently moved back from Florida because they want to be happy. They just see that for themselves, you know? But they also want to start having kids. It's all about the baby talk now. And that's what all of my relatives talk about with them. Are you having kids yet? Have you started to have kids? Are you trying to have kids? And that's a really gross question. If you really think about what you're asking, you know? Like, we were all at a family dinner, and we're, like, eating food, and someone just leans forward and is like, oh my gosh, are you trying to have kids so far? And it's like, I also took 2 loads this morning, but you would be uncomfortable if I brought that up. But I'm a team player, so I just take a bite of lasagna, go to the bathroom, and push out Kyle Jr. Love wins, you know? No, it was fun growing up as a little gay kid. I was a nerd, which no one really believes. Kind of the same way when I tell people I want to go hiking, no one believes me either. I apparently give princess energy, which is fair. Like, I get it. But growing up, I was a total nerd. I loved playing video games. I always liked to play the girl characters because they got to kiss the boys. And then I would play the game The Sims where you get to make your people, and I would always make them kiss the boys. And then I grew up and I started kissing boys, and I was like, they're awful. Can I have a redo? When was my last save? Can I just start the game over again, you know? It's rough out there. I was really into Pokemon, if anyone remembers that at all. Thank you, one person. These next 2 minutes are gonna go great. No, it was like funny because, a bunch of like bro-y, nerdy 11-year-olds would be like, oh, Charizard has the stats with the fireball and can do this range and da-da-da. And I was like, I like the pretty horse. My favorite of those pocket monsters was named Jigglypuff. whose entire personality trait is they sing people to sleep and then throw a tantrum when people are no longer paying attention. And it's just so important to see yourself represented in media, you know? Someone you can finally connect to. I did fall off of the nerdy shit when I got a little bit older, mainly because I made friends with a bunch of nerds. I was like, wow, my gosh, stop drinking Mountain Dew, take a shower. But I made some good friends with nerds in college. One of my best friends, also named Nick Straight, it was not confusing if you know either of us. But he was a really good video game player. So he would play like that game Halo at like 2 in the morning against like people in Japan and 13-year-olds. Just really intense crowd. But then we did this funny thing where he would let me be on the microphone. So he is just mowing down, just killing, teabagging, running across the entire course. I don't know, I wasn't fucking playing. Meanwhile, I was talking to everyone. He was absolutely destroying, just being like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, that's so weird. I can't believe I did that, oh my god. Let me tell you, you think you've heard gay slurs? It's an educational experience in college. Now though, the main nerdy thing that I do is I play Dungeons and Dragons because it's cool again. Also because I don't want to pay for therapy. Yeah, if you were there and just listened to me describe my character, it's like I'm talking to a psychologist. I was like, this is Merrick. He's a halfling, a level 7 druid, Circle of the Stars. He can see in the dark. He has severe body dysmorphia and a hypersensitivity to rejection. He's also into guys who don't text him back. No, but it's hard for me now to find friends who still want to play D&D because whenever I have a friend who's the dungeon master, that's the person who runs the games. I had a friend who did it forever, and we finished like this 3-year-long game. It was really fun. I was like, when's the next one? He's like, I don't know. I think we need a break from playing with each other. And I was like, how come? And he's like, I just can't keep role-playing as a top this much. I was like, I thought we had something special, you know. No, I actually do go to therapy. I'm a millennial. I really know that I need it. So it's fine. It goes great. Although this is not even a planned bit. My therapist just came up on my Tinder the other day. Which would be awkward, but now I just kind of want to go into a session being like, hey, Dr. Anders, those photos are like 3 years old. Do you have any body image stuff you need to talk about? But I am looking for some advice because I just don't know what to do when you realize that your therapist is bored with you. Like, I don't think it's a good sign when you finish telling a story and the first thing your therapist does is just go, So no details have changed since the last time that happened. None at all. I'm like, excuse me. No, this is the pattern you're supposed to be fixing. But he's not. But it's okay because we found each other on Tinder, so. Love wins, you know? I also started my fitness journey several years ago when I was living in LA because I did not have air conditioning in my apartment. And also because, again, I'm super, super hypersensitive to being rejected by men. So it's just me walking on the treadmill, crippling body insecurity, and that sweet, sweet AC, you know? Me, us against the world. I don't have it now, which is why I'm dating again. Again, I don't have a punchline for that. I'm just sharing about my life because I thought this was a safe space. This feels like a very vulnerable time now. But it was mostly like straight people, which are super fun to work out against because they make all kinds of noises. You know, just a lot of... Are y'all dying at the gym? Or like several weeks ago dying? But now I work out around gay people, which I don't recommend. Because I just like don't want to have to worry about douching for the gym.
No.
She gets it. Democrats get it. No, and I'm also like, I'm running out of shirts to change into cute crop tops, you know? Like I once showed up at the gym wearing just a regular length shirt, just like a full length shirt. And the front lady at the desk asked me if I was doing okay. I wasn't, but that is entirely besides the point, and Melissa doesn't need to know that, okay? But in my fitness journey, I went to this place called Barry's Boot Camp, if anyone has heard of it. It's one of those class-based fitness cults. You know, it's kind of like if Orange Theory were allowed to use the F slur. Thank you. It's like if CrossFit listened to Wicked in the shower. You know, just really by gay people, for gay people. And you can tell it's for gay people a few ways. One, everyone who works there is just named Ace. Or Gavin. Or the occasional lesbian, Lori. She spells it with an I. Number two, on the outside, it looks like an Apple store. And on the inside, it looks like a German bathhouse sex dungeon. And three, it is just full of white women. With the occasional boyfriend or husband who is dragged there, trying to be supportive but looking real scared. But what does a German sex dungeon bathhouse look like? Thank you, oh my god. I've been meaning to bring this up. Imagine a dimly lit spa mixed with a laser tag facility. Red lighting, obstacles everywhere. Gavin's on the microphone while Europop techno music is just blaring and he's screaming at you to give them 1 more half mile per hour! And it's like, babe, you're standing 5 feet away. Just turn down the music and talk, you know? This can be a calm experience. Anyway, I fucked Gavin. In my defense, it was 2 a.m. He texted, "Hey cutie, you up?" And he has AC. So, love wins, you know? So I know we talked about how my parents knew I was gay, but how did I know I was gay? You know, it's a really exciting time in the world because movies like the Barbie movie are letting a whole generation be like, I'm gay. For my generation, we had the live-action Scooby-Doo movie. It was super informative. But if I had to pinpoint like the origin story for it, it's probably because I was raised Catholic and Jesus is hot. All versions of Jesus are hot, by the way. Ken doll Jesus, surfer Jesus, historically accurate black Jesus, all fuckable. The tricky thing is, when you grow up having a crush on Jesus Christ, it does teach you how to fall for manipulative men. You ever celebrate Easter? That's a real fuckboy holiday. It's just like, I don't think it counts if he came back. Now I know what you're saying, like, 3 days in a cave, that's not a sacrifice, that's a staycation. After the week at work I just had, I would kill to get that kind of time off. Also, he knew he was coming back. It's just like a guy ghosting you for 3 days, then texting you, "Hey cutie, you up at 2:30 in the morning," and expecting a holiday for it. It's like him taking you out to dinner, making a whole grand gesture that he's gonna pay for you. Meanwhile, he's just getting all of those double airline miles on his Elastic credit card. It's not some big thing, and yet, still, there I am. 8, 9, 10 at church, seeing Jesus up on the cross. Crown of thorns, cute little holes in his hands. Huge chest and just cum gutter abs. And I think, thinking to myself, oh my God, he did that for me. Love Wiz, thank y'all.
Nick Alderson, ladies and gentlemen. Nick, take a bow. Nick. Come on. Nick Alderson, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, Mike Schreiber, ladies and gentlemen. Molly McNabb. Wow. You'll never see Jesus the same way again, ladies and gentlemen. You just won't. Take a bow, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. And thanks to the straight people for being patient with us tonight. Some of you learned what poppers were, I think, over in this section. Thank you so much.
You tell that joke to your parents.
I think your parents were here for one of your showcases, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
That's when I told them I got laid off from the stage.
One more time for all of them, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming out the second Sunday. It's really hard to get crowds during the summer because things are happening. So we do this on, obviously, the second Sunday of every month right now. If you tell your friends, should be bigger in the fall. But you guys are a smaller audience, but you are a fantastic audience. I really appreciate you being here. And if you want to try stand-up comedy or be in a class that's supportive and fun, portlandcomedy.com. We do have 2 slots open for the class, introductory class, beginning on September 16th. How about a hand for the staff here? And Jay. And thank you all for coming. It's been wonderful. Have a good night.
I learned some stuff. Learned some